start with one of the first requests that I got from my dear friend Jenny. And she asked me to play You Are My Sunshine. It was one of her mom's favorites. And so I'm going to play it. I like to think that everyone has people who are the sunshine in their life. Thank you, Jenny, for asking for that one. Now, somebody else asked for Morning Has Broken, and I'm happy to play it, but I lost track of who asked for what at a certain point, and this is one that I don't remember. So if it was you, hi, Jenny, I just played You Are My Sunshine. I hope you caught it. So this next one is Morning Has Broken, and if it was you who asked for it, I think it was maybe Mickey. But I'm not sure. Please put it in the post. Thank you all for posting. Here we are, Morning Has Broken. Now this song, a lot of you may think that that it was written in the 60s, the 1960s, but it's actually very, very old, an old Gaelic hymn. Has Broken. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. So this next one was requested from a very dear friend of mine up in New Hampshire, and she asked for America the Beautiful. This was written, thank you, Carol. This was written by Kathleen Bates, and I'm really proud of her. She wrote this. The first one was in 1893, and that was a time when women really weren't published very often. She was a very powerful woman, and she was on sabbatical. She was a teacher at Wellesley, which is a very highly esteemed university in the Boston area, in the Massachusetts. And so she was on sabbatical in a cabin up in Colorado, up in the mountains. And she looked out and saw this beautiful view of the mountains. And so she wrote this song based on that view, just probably thinking about all the beautiful parts of this country. And I really love playing this song because, you know, back when I was like in my late teens, early 20s, I spent a lot of time traveling around the country. I'd come to America when I was 10, and I moved to Brooklyn, and I wasn't that fond of Brooklyn. It was very foreign to me. But I started traveling around and the country and meeting people from all around, and I fell in love with it. It was so beautiful, and all the national parks and the beautiful redwood forest. Just, we have an amazing, amazing country. So I'm very grateful for that. And so this song is America the Beautiful, written by, do you remember her name? Kathleen Bates. I love to echo her name because she's one of my heroines. Just imagine looking out and seeing the beautiful Rockies and a sunrise or a sunset. Or even just looking out at the ocean. Nature is so amazing. We have so many beautiful places in this country. So this next one I picked myself just because it's a fun one. Excuse me. And I wanted to do something that was a little bit fun. And it's called By the Light of the Silvery Moon. And since we had a new moon just a few days ago, I thought it would just be fun to do this one. Please sing along. I wish I could hear you all, but please sing along if you know any of these songs. And you probably are already, and you don't have to worry. If you don't sing well, we're not going to be able to criticize you, so that's a good thing. You can just enjoy it. Here we go. by the light of the silvery moon. Yay, Carol, you're singing. Yes. You know, it's so good to sing. It feels good to sing. And oh, I just remembered that fun song. I don't know if I can sing it. I'm not going to sing it. But remember that one I posted a while ago? Maybe you didn't catch it, but it was about every little cell of mine is healthy and happy. And I just started singing it and loving it. And so I wanted to pass it on, but I haven't sung it for a little while. I was singing it the other day, but I don't feel like I can hop it up right now. Next time I'll do it. Okay. This next one is an old English one, and it's a springtime. You know, this time of year, in a normal year, there'd be all these festivals and celebrations of springtime coming out from the underworld and being reborn and all of that. And so this song would have been one that was sung and danced to around a maypole or around, you know, just around in a circle. It's called Goddesses. And it's really funny. Yeah, it is funny how the words come back so easily, right? And oldie but a goodie, yes. So thank you for commenting. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Some of them could be ones that your mother or your grandmother, you know, grew up with. So great-grandmother probably did also. So I do senior programs as well, and I've got one that I'm creating. And if any of you live, you're caretaking for a senior, particularly one with Alzheimer's, I've done a lot of senior programs, and particularly dementia programs, as well as seniors that aren't in that place. But the ones with dementia, I have a wonderful collection of songs that they would enjoy. And so if you want to message me, private message me about that, and I can send you some more information, okay? But for now, we're going to do Goddesses. So you just imagine we're in beautiful English countryside now, and you hear maybe the pipes and the drums and maybe a harp playing. And if you're one of my students and you've learned Goddesses, please feel free to play along if you can, or just listen and enjoy it. Your harp and your playing too gorgeous. Thank you, Carol. Okay, here we go. Goddesses. Up and dance to that one. Hi Rita, good to see you. Yeah, that is a Renaissance tune, exactly, Carol. Yep, it's an old Renaissance one, and I love it. I kind of got my harp through the Renaissance fair. Maybe some of you don't know on how I got my first harp. Hi Judy, thank you. Thanks, I'm so glad that you're here. Yes, and now you know what it's supposed to sound like, Judy. Thank you. Yes, Judy has my Rosie, and she's babysitting it through the corona. And so happy that she has it and that she's learned to play. And that's one of the first tunes that I teach my students. And it's a fun one, not too hard to play. And I also played another one, I think it's called Carson's Farewell, that when I went off of that, because sort of add another one to it. And Judy, if you want to learn that one, I can teach that one to you as well. I'll make up some sheet music for you. Okay, so now I've been asked to do a couple of Celtic ones. And so I will. But actually, I'm not sure if this isn't technically Celtic, but it is Irish. There was a young lad whose name was Turlach O'Carolan. Flipping my levers here. He lived in the 1700s, and at a young age, he became sick with a smallpox. And that disease was spreading around, and many people became blinded because of it. Now, it just so happens, and at that same time, harpers were considered very, very special. And good harpists would be, have jobs working at people's homes. And it was not a contagious virus like we have right now. So people would be able to go and live at people's homes and play music for them for whatever reason they wanted. Perhaps when they were having their food, they may play something nice and relaxing. Or if they were having a party, they might for all different reasons. Perhaps somebody was sick, they would play to help them to feel better. Now, it is said that if a harpist is able to get somebody to laugh, to cry, and to sleep, that is then makes them a true harper or a true harpist. Really, it's a harper because we're talking about Celtic harp. And the person who plays Celtic harp is considered a harper. The person who plays a pedal harp is a harpist. So I'm a harpist. And but anyhow, so he learned this from a good friend of the family, Mrs. McDermott. He learned that he'd be able to earn a living when he grew up if he knew how to play the harp. And so he studied. He went for his first audition, and the man said to him, "Young lad, you go up to the mountains and you have the fairies teach you how to play." And so he did. He went up on top of this mountain that is so high that there's bound to be fairies living up there. But it is said that if one spends the night there, they'll come back either insane or an artist. And so Turlach, the young lad, he stayed up on top of the mountain. And this is the first song that came to him. think? Do you think he came back as an artist? Thank you, Carol. So he came back down and he shared that song. And it is said that he slept between two fairy hills. A big fairy hill, Sheebeg, and Sheemore, the little fairy hill. And so that name of that song is Sheebeg Sheemore, little fairy hill, big fairy hill. And they were battling. So I don't think he came back as a madman. I think he came back quite as an artist. He went on to live a life prolific. He would write a song for all of his future patrons that were going to be hosting him. Now remember, he was blind, and so he couldn't actually ride his horse there to the new host or hostess. So he would be taken by chariot, and he would write it on the way and have it as a gift for them when he got there. And I think that's so beautiful. Now there are some people, some musicians, they only play Turlough O'Carolyn's music. He's got, hundreds. He was prolific. He has hundreds of songs. And from what I hear, he was better composer than he was a harpist. But he was blind, and I've met people who I've let them play the harp, and they were able to find their way beautifully. And I know that I even had a deaf student who learned how to play as well. So anybody can really learn to play if you want. The deaf student, actually, she would put it on her neck here, and she could hear it through her bones. And that's how she learned how to play. Her goal was to be able to play around a campfire. And she did that. She was able to do that, and she loved it. And she had another friend who played the fiddle with her, and they were able to hold it together. So, the human spirit is amazing, and we tap into our reserves, and it's so beautiful to experience that in people. So Turlough O'Carolyn went on to have a very prolific career. And if you've ever heard the word planxty, and so at the beginning of many of the Irish songs, the word planxty means in honor of. So he wrote Planxty Irwin, he wrote Planxty Fanny Power, Planxty Eleanore Plunket. He wrote many Planxties because, again, he wrote for his hosts. So these are two, Planxty, Eleanore Plunket, I can't talk. I can play harp, but I can't talk. Yes, I can. Eleanore Plunket and Fanny Power. And so he was around the 1700s. And hi, Lyra. Oh, so glad to see you here. And Man, wonderful to see you here. So Turla O'Carolan wrote those last few songs that I did, and the last three pieces were songs written by him. The first one was the first one he wrote after spending the night up and way on top of a very high mountain, sleeping between two fairy hills that were battling, and they called Sheebeg Sheemore. And many of you who are musicians that play Celtic music know that one. It was one of the first I learned and love. And the other two were Planksties, meaning songs that he wrote in honor of some of his hosts. So I thought that's a really beautiful thing. His music was influenced by the Celtic music, but it was also influenced by the classical music of the time, because in the 1700s was when the classical music started to come in. And so he was an amazing composer. And I've got a nice collection of his, and it's constantly growing. So this next one I'm going to do is one that was a request, and I didn't write it down as to who requested it. So please, if you're the one who requested, all I ask of you, please make a note on there that that's what I'm going to do now. All I ask of you is this one is written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. And when I used to work in the hospitals, his compositions would speak to people of many generations. There's something about his music that is just so beautiful. So I love to play his music for you. So here we are. No more talks of darkness. Forget those wide-eyed fears. I'm here, nothing can harm you. My word will warm and calm you. Let me be your freedom. Let daylight dry your tears. I'm here with you, beside you, to guard you and guide you. That's what Raoul said. And then Christine said, all I ask is that every waking moment turn my head with talk of summertime. Say you need me with you now and always. Promise me that all you say is true. That's all I ask of you. Raoul came back and he said, let me be your shelter. Let me be your light. You're safe. No one will find you. Your fears are far behind you. Christine said, all I want is freedom, a world with no more night. You know, always beside me to hold me and hide me. Raoul said, then say you'll share with me one love, one lifetime. Let me lead you from your solitude. Say you need me with you, here beside you. Anywhere you go, let me go too. Christine, that's all I ask of you. Now I ask of you that you take both of those characters within yourself, the vulnerable one and the one that is there to support the other, and so that you can have a dialogue, and so that you can develop and deepen your sense of self-trust and knowing that you will do what it takes to do the best you can through this journey, to make this the best time you can ever imagine having had. So perhaps some of you, I know some of you are already on that day. Thank you, Mickey. I see your claps. Some of you are already on that journey of really loving it. I've been in conversation. I've heard you say, I'm loving this time, and I'm loving this time, and I'm hoping that a lot of people are, because it's an incredible time. I think it will go down in a time of great spirituality and great resilience amongst us as people. And I'm inviting you to join that troop of resilience if you're having a weakness. And if you need some support, please let me know, because I am a life coach and I do help people through things like this and through things that are very life challenging. And I've seen wonderful changes with people, and it brings me great joy and satisfaction, sense of purpose to be able to help people that way. So the next one I'm going to play for you is The Sound of Music. Again, another story of resilience. I think, if you want to, you can start writing down, perhaps, let's see, I think we met at Taxi Road Rally or other conference. I thought we met at Susan Epstein's course, but I could be wrong. But anyhow, oh, maybe not. Maybe I met you with a musicians, a female musicians group. But because I haven't made it to a Taxi Road Rally, but I've gone to a lot of conferences. But anyhow, The Sound of Music. I'm thinking for next week, I almost made this week's theme about angels. How many like that idea? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to make it about angels. And I want you to send me requests that have songs that are either about angels or remind you of angels. And the song doesn't have to be all about angels, but let's do as much as we can. I have a couple of originals that I have written. And, angels don't have to be the kind that are, flying in the air with wings, or like me. No, I'm just joking. A lot of times people call me I'm an angel, especially when I'm working through the hospital and playing for people. But you don't have to think about those kind of angels, like people who have been wonderful support for you. They're doing, in a sense, the energy of light in your life, and they have supported you through some of your hard times. So here we go with another song of resilience, The Sound of Music. And I know a lot of you can sing along to this. I wish I could hear you. Let's do that one more time. You're welcome, Janet. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for coming. This next one, I usually play this one on the flute, but I'm not going to do that. Today I'm going to just play it on the harp. It's one that goes with it, and it's about the flower that rose up in the mountains, where in the Alps, where that movie was, the story was talking about, so where it took place. So it's a beautiful song, and it's about a white flower that lovers would give each other. I think it was usually the man giving it to the woman, and it was such a dangerous place that they had to get. I just heard this recently, that it was such a dangerous place that they had to go to gather these flowers. They would risk their life to prove their love. So that's intense. Hopefully they didn't lose their life for it. But the flower is a beautiful white flower. Please sing along. I know you'll know this one. Eidelweiss, yes. Eidelweiss from The Sound of Music. Do you remember who sang it? You can type it in. Okay, I'm going to do another one that was requested, and it's a beautiful hymn that a lot of people sing, and there's a lot of different words for it. And I don't have my notes for who requested it, but you know who you are, and if you requested it or you wish that I would play it, you can type it in the comments, and that way we'll have the history of that. It would be nice, or the history of that. I want to thank you all for being here and for supporting this program. I am really grateful to have this as a venue that I can play at, because I really miss playing out. I really miss packing up my harp. I've got that down to a system. My car isn't parked far away from my front door, and loading up the harp into the car is always an exciting time, because I'm thinking about what songs I'm going to play and what smiles I'm going to experience, and people experiencing the music. It's like magic, when you watch people reacting to music. And I miss doing that, but so you're giving me the opportunity to share with you. And even though I can't see your smiles, I see the notes and I see your faces up top, so I know that I'm not playing alone, although I played alone many hours and I love playing alone as well. But it's very different to share it with somebody, and I love that. Fills my heart with warmth to have a gift that other people can appreciate and enjoy. So thank you. So this next one is Amazing Grace, and you can say whatever words you like to this. You can make some up if you want. Nobody can say anything about that. Amazing Grace. It's rainy and windy day in New York City, and this made the sun come out for me. Oh, thank you, Carol. Oh, thank you. And I think if I'm remembering right, Carol, it was your birthday and I didn't get to play you a happy birthday. I think I'm right, and so I'm going to take the risk and play you happy birthday, and maybe that'll help the sun come out even more for you. Please forgive me for not getting that done on your birthday itself. Here we go. Happy birthday, Carol. Everybody, please sing loud and clear so Carol can hear this in New York City. Yes, that's you. Carol's a very talented, wonderful musician up in New York City, and I pray that you're staying safe. And yes, yes, happy birthday. I'm not going to sing because I'm not really prepared to do that right now, but I want everybody to sing it. And Carol, maybe you'll sing it for yourself as well, from all of us. Happy birthday, Carol, and many more, as many as you want. Happy birthday, Carol. Yeah, everybody give Carol a happy birthday. Yes, Carol. May this be a year that you reach to a new height of knowing yourself, knowing your magnificence, and knowing all of the glorious seeds that are within you sprouting. And maybe the best year of your life yet. Happy birthday. Yeah, keep on giving it to Carol. Yes. Happy birthday, Carol. Yay. Excellent. And I know you're singing wonderfully. So this next one I'm going to do is, last time I had promised, I actually put it in writing that I was going to play the Native American flute, and I never got to because I didn't put it on my song list, so I got a little lost. And so I'm going to play a piece on the Native American flute, and I'm going to add a little bit of percussion. My handy dandy iPad, I have an app that I can kind of create some drum track, and so I'm going to add it to this. Hopefully I got the right one set up. I haven't worked with it that much, but I think it's really fun. I love to play with other musicians and particularly drummers. And I miss my good friend Phyllis, who's up in Cape Cod, and she's on this meeting. And thank you, Tara. And so she's a wonderful drummer. I met her, we were at a women's retreat, and I was playing a harp in one of the corners of the room, just sort of spending some time. I was there as a performer, but I was also just enjoying my time off playing some music in one of the corners of the big cafeteria there up at Rowe Conference Center up in Massachusetts. Beautiful spot. And I heard through the corner of my other ear, because my harp ear here is just my harp, but I heard somebody drumming, and she came over, and it was so wonderful. I was going to do a concert that night, and so I invited her to play with me, and it was just wonderful, and we've become lifelong friends since then. And music is wonderful, the way it brings people together in so many ways, the way it rises us up, and I'm just so grateful that I received that gift of a harp from a parting boyfriend. When we were breaking up, he gave me the harp he had built. And I was a visual artist at the time, and I was set up to do a tour around the country. Oh, that's a beautiful gift. That's lovely. I hope that's to Carol, and or maybe to me too. So he gave me the harp that he'd built when we broke up. He'd built it in my booth at the Ren Fair. And it was really just an incredible gift. I hadn't really played it much when we were together. He had bought himself another one. The harp he built was kind of funky. I used to call it my funky folk harp when people would say, what kind of harp is that? But it was wonderful. It was enough to help me fall in love with it. So I was going to tour. I got as far as Virginia, down to Floyd, Virginia, to visit my friend Becky Farnham. And I was staying with her, and she showed me a picture and a video, like on I don't remember what the format was in those days because it was back like 30 years ago or something like that, maybe even 35 years ago. And she showed me some pictures and movies of her house that she had for rent. It was tucked between two mountaintops. It was just wonderful. It was this really old house. It had a little creek, Goose Creek, running in front of it. It was, let me say, it was little most of the time. But there was a time, maybe 2 times, that while I was there, it turned into a raging river. Mattresses came running down the river. I almost lost a good friend, Annie Moon, to that river. So, but most of the times it was a calm, babbling, little babbling creek and beautiful top of the mountains. And there was a ghost in the house who wasn't a troubled ghost, but I felt that, she really, really seemed to enjoy the harp. It's not that she was troubled or anything, but when I would play the harp, and I didn't know what I was doing, I was really just following spirit. And you're welcome, Carol. So I was just following spirit with the harp playing, and my technique was probably really terrible, but I was enjoying all the textures and sounds I could get, making up things. And one day, my mom came to visit, and she was sleeping in the old side of the house in her room. And you're welcome, Phyllis. And so she was sleeping in her side of the room. The next morning she said, who was that came in the middle of the night? A woman with long hair. So she actually showed herself to my mom while she was asleep. She never showed herself to me, but I felt her energy, particularly when I went into the old side of the house. And I felt her energy really kind of just, she loved the harp. It was very healing for her. And so I played the harp for about 5 years, pretty much, just inviting friends to come over and do music jams and stuff. But then I started playing in nursing homes, and from that, then I ended up having a very full career with nursing homes, hospitals, became certified as a music practitioner, and also playing for weddings and parties and all kinds of events. It was wonderful. I felt like I was of service. My music was of service to people of all ages, from birth to, and actually pre-birth, to women with babies within them still, so to death. And it was all a very beautiful journey, and I'm so grateful to have had it. And so I'm really glad to have you here today, and I'm talking more than I want to. So I'm going to play this little thing here. Hope you can hear that okay. Let me make it a little louder. that was interesting. So thank you for joining me on that. So this is a beautiful, beautiful flute, and it's a high spirit flute. They make a beautiful, very reasonably priced flute, and it's got some turquoise laid in it, the beautiful swan here. This is called a bird, and I love the flute. Actually, the wind instrument was my first instrument. I'll tell you that story another time. I've got lots of stories to tell. Let's see now. I'm going to pull myself out of this app and go back to my next request, which I think my next request was made by Carol, one of my harp students. This is a John Lennon song, Imagine. Ooh, we're over time. Is it okay with you if we play a little longer? I guess so, because you're still here, right? Okay. I got to learn to honor the timing a little bit better. I'll get better at that. Singing. Each and every one of you are dreamers, just like myself, yes. world is as one. We've just been proven that one person can change the whole world drastically. We each have the potential to do that in our own way. Yes. Oh, that song reminded me that I wanted to tell you about the group that I've got going. It's a free group, and it's my gift to the world, to whoever wants to be on it and who will have the benefit from it. I'm calling all light workers to join me in visioning the world, the new world, how we want the new world to be. And the only parameters I'm creating is that the new world that we vision together will be one that considers the health of nature, of the planet, as well as the health and well-being of human beings, so that people are treated with respect, all people treated equally. And so those are the parameters for visioning with this group. If you like the idea, please send me a message. I'll send you the link to come. Our next meeting is on Tuesday. We're meeting on Tuesdays at, I believe, 3 o'clock, but I could be making a mistake there. But it's a free group, and we'll be visioning, and we'll be doing some meditation together. We're in the visioning phase right now. I'm a dream builder coach, so I'm going to be using the process that I use to help people to build their dreams. The first one is to really build a deep vision, and then after that we will then go within and ask for what steps we need to take to actually bring it out into the world. And it's a wonderful group. We had a beautiful small group, but it was great because it gave us a chance to get our stuff working and working together. And this week I think there'll be a larger group, and perhaps later. And Jenny, thank you. God bless you too. Thank you. So I know I have a few more that have been asked to play, and so I'm going to start next with my Quan Yin. For those of you who don't know who Quan Yin is, she is the equivalent of Mother Mary in the Eastern world. She is the goddess of compassion. And when I say goddess, I don't mean that she's actually like this thing of goddess. She's an energy of compassion. And, compassion is something we really need. Yes, we will dream big for our beautiful new earth. Much love. Thank you, Judy. Yes. So this compassion is something, to be compassionate to ourselves as well as to others is a wonderful thing. And so to ask to bring that compassion to a place in ourselves that is interacting with us on a moment-to-moment basis, that we are manifesting compassion for ourselves, for all of the parts of ourselves. Okay, here we go. This was asked for from Phyllis Iris. She's on one of my CDs playing drums with us. Yes, harp music can be so soothing. Yeah, so thank you, Phyllis, for asking for that. It came out totally different than it was on the CD that we did many years ago at this point. That's on the that was on the Dreams and Old Lovers CD, I believe. Yeah, right, Phyllis? Yes. I haven't played that for a while, but it felt so good to play it again, to remember Quan Yin and you, and remembering that moment of playing that together. So the next one, I'm going to change my levers here. And this next one is a request. And I'm going to play it because I'm hoping that the woman who requested it, which at this moment I'm not remembering who. I got to get better at writing my notes on who is requesting. But it's called What a Wonderful World. And it's a beautiful song. Of F. So this, thank you, Amy. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. So this next one, What a Wonderful World. And I just love this song. It's a perfect song for these days because it really is such a wonderful world in so many ways. And I just love that the planet is healing and the people are emerging from places that were hidden from them prior to now. wonderful world. That was you, or you asked for that one, Jenny. Well, thank you for asking for it. So I think I'm going to check, make sure there's no more requests. I put in a bunch of songs that I wanted to do, but I can wait for that for next time because we are half an hour over time, but we're not paying rent for time, so that's okay. Hopefully, you haven't, oh, I did have a request for Halleluiah, so I'm going to definitely play that, and this will be our last one out, so I hope you sing so loud that I can hear you all. Thank you. Thank you everyone for coming. I would like to also let you know that I did put a PayPal me button. So if you enjoyed this and you'd like to support me, and since I don't have any music gigs right now keeping me going, I would really appreciate support. It can be $5, it could be $1, it could be $15, it could be $100, it could be whatever you want. Just something to help me keep going, I'd really appreciate it. And if there's any service that you'd like to have me for, I can create private concerts for you, or perhaps you have an anniversary that you want to celebrate with your loved one that you live with, and you'd like me to be there remotely and my little iPad or your little iPad and do a program for you made of your favorite music. Or perhaps you just want one of those, a personal concert for you. There's many things. I also teach harp, so this would be a great time to take up a harp, and you might happen to have one sitting around and you've been wondering when you were going to start to play it. So I do offer many different skills as well as life coaching. So if you really are feeling like this would be a good time to develop those ideas that you are finding out that you're good at, so that by the time we're done with this whole journey, that you can come out into the world feeling really ready to go into your new journey with your new vision that will be guided. So anyhow, or if you're just having a problem and you'd like some support getting out of that and getting to feeling more in balance. So I have lots of different things that I can offer you. So please, if you feel it in your heart, you feel some gratitude and you'd like to support me, I would much appreciate it. And I hope that my music has brought you some support for the day. I'm planning on doing a concert a week, as well as I'm planning on adding in some guided meditations, and they'll be on my Deluna page probably, or my the group page, Let's Ride This Wave Together. So keep an eye out. And I'm also thinking that I'm going to add some other concerts in that are more like the Tibetan bowls and more the flutes and more esoteric instruments as well. So I have a lot of them, and they're starting to say, hey, play me too. So I haven't been playing them so much, and it's time for me to bring them out. So have yourself a wonderful day, and it's not too late to write down what your request may be for next week's concert. I'm going to be creating the theme of angels next week. So I know you're all my angels. I'm so happy to see you all here. And if you came at the very end, you want to, you can watch the replay of this. I will be posting it up again. Hi, Sappho. Nice to see you from Canada. Oh, lovely, lovely. Does anybody have any questions or anything they would like to share with me before we part ways? I will be making this recording available so you'll be able to watch anytime you want. I'll be putting it on YouTube, as well as I'll be posting it on my Facebook page. And so you can come and visit my channel there. I have a lot of other, well, maybe not a lot. I just started really doing more with YouTube recently through this time because I've had more time. And guess what I did yesterday? I have for years collected photographs because I love taking pictures, particularly of nature. And I just had like this huge collection. And last night I actually had the time, well, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning, which isn't so great, but I'm really glad that I started putting my photographs in order, because I'm rebuilding my webpage and I really need to have my pictures in order. And I also have pictures of friends and events that I've been at, and it was just so lovely to get them in some semblance of an order. Now they need more fine-tuning, but this is a project I've been waiting for years. So I wonder what projects you might be doing that you've been putting off for years. You want to type them in before we go? Leave on a good note? They're all good notes. Each one is a good note. Well, anyhow, you can continue to type even when I go up. I'll be checking them. So have a wonderful afternoon. I hope that this refreshed you, brought you some peace, and brought you some joy. Blessings to you for your day. Siobhan says goodbye.